Meet Perfecto, a pagan chief tucked high up in the Philippine jungles. Spiritualism and local lore ruled his life. His prized possession was his radio. Surprisingly, his music was replaced with Adventist World Radio's Bible messages. The Sabbath truth captivated his heart. Daily, the entire village gathered around his radio, resulting in the whole village being baptized together. God's three angels' messages transformed Perfecto from a pagan chief into a Seventh-day Adventist leader who donated his own property to build the village a church. Meet Mama Miembe in Tanzania. Challenged by her pastor to use the upcoming radio evangelistic series as a witnessing tool, she carried her radio everywhere. Next to the town bar was her garden. As she tended to her plants, the radio's volume was turned up. This caught the attention of the bar owner and his patrons. Elias' drunken bar transformed into a Seventh-day Adventist place of worship. Elia and 20 of his customers were baptized. Meet Prahalad, a witch doctor residing in the Himalayan mountains of Nepal. Depression overcame him with his failure to heal his 2 dying sons through witchcraft. Providentially, his son Surendra tuned into AWR and shared it with Prahalad and 17 other families who all decided to be baptized. Now, grateful to be out from under the spell of witchcraft and freed by Bible truth, AWR trained them to witness through their cell phones. Prahalad, a witch doctor, transformed into a Seventh-day Adventist cell phone evangelist. Meet Wissam Ali. He was shot, stoned twice, and stabbed by a mob. But each time, angels saved his life. Wissam has translated our Adventist sermons into Arabic and sends them out through cell phone platforms. The domino effect is that many Arabs and entire congregations have become Sabbath keepers, baptized in the Jordan River. Wissam, a former Muslim, transformed into the only Arabic-speaking Seventh-day Adventist pastor in Israel. Meet the executioner, a ruthless hitman.
I have killed so many. How could God forgive me?
The voice of a pleading victim haunted him long after it had been silenced in the Philippine jungles. Through his family's radio, God pulled at his heartstrings when he realized that he was the lost sheep. He studied, believed, and was baptized. Now, armed with the gospel, a projector, and a radio, he has returned to those same villages. This is a real, modern-day Saul to Paul story. The executioner transformed into God's life-saving evangelist. Meet Ranja the witch of Madagascar. She was dedicated to the devil as a baby. Witchcraft made her influential. Villages hired her to stop the rampant cow thieves from stealing their herds.
Even though I was very powerful, could heal people, shut crocodiles' mouths, and make bullets stop, I was miserable.
When AWR played, the evil spirits had no control over her. She learned that Jesus is the ultimate power. After baptism, she started 3 Seventh-day Adventist churches. A spell-casting witch transformed into a church-planting soul winner. Meet 16-year-old Dorette from South Africa, a struggling teenager questioning her faith. She reluctantly joined TMI to preach an evangelistic series in Zambia. She was shocked to see so many of her attendees were baptized. This changed the path of her life forever. Dorette is now studying to become a missionary. This doubting teen transformed into a confident soul winner. Meet Marius, an elder of the SDA Church. He was inactive and lukewarm until he was introduced to cell phone evangelism. Burdened for his son Elmer, who had been using drugs for 15 years, Marius simply forwarded the Bible recordings. Today, Elmer is baptized, drug-free, and has joined his dad as a cell phone evangelist, spreading the word to thousands every week. Friends, Jesus is coming soon. Loud let it ring. He invites you and me to be a part of this great movement. God's 3 angels' messages will transform you and any willing heart into a loving, God-fearing, commandment-keeping Bible believer.
From broadcast to baptism, this is AWR 360.
My uncle had tried to stone me to death, and now my cousins were here to finish the job.
Find out how God is using Adventist World Radio to reach the Muslim community and other difficult-to-reach areas with the gospel message. Hi, I'm Cammie Utman, and this is AWR 360.
Adventist World Radio is broadcasting to the most remote locations of the world in more than 130 different languages. We've been doing this for the past, almost 50 years now, but I've never seen anything like this before. From baptizing rebels and assassins, almost daily we receive news of amazing miracles taking place all around this little ball of mud. Wiesom's story right here in Nazareth is an example that especially touched my heart.
Being born Muslim, Wiesom was taught to hate Christianity. So when his sister decided to become a Christian, he was sent by his family to kill her. But because of a miraculous dream from God, he decided to begin studying the Bible. He soon returned to Nazareth to share his new belief with his family, and his uncle, upon hearing this, became very angry and ordered his stoning. This happened over and over until finally his brother stepped in. Then his father advised Wiesom to flee the country. Years later, after his father and uncle died, Wiesom's mother invited him to return. He immediately saw an opportunity to share Jesus in Nazareth, so he decided to set up a center of influence where he used the Bible to teach English to his fellow people. We also gave Wiesom AWR God Pods, which he distributed among his community. Recently, though, things took a turn for the worse as the sons of his dead uncle found out what Wiesom was doing. They too had participated in his stoning many years before and now rallied a mob and went to Wiesom's house to attack him. Wiesom's wife Audrey heard the commotion downstairs and rushed out to see what was happening. She knew right away that Wiesom was in serious trouble and fell on her knees and began to pray. Wiesom's brothers rushed to protect him when he was hit with a metal rod, but then his own cousin pulled out his knife and stabbed Wiesom. But to his astonishment, the knife bent, leaving him unharmed. Wiesom's brother then picked up the bent knife and said,
"Try again to kill the man of God."
As the mob retreated, they threatened, "You will not know where or when, but we will kill you." Several months later, Wiesom received a shocking phone call that these same 2 cousins had been killed while riding their motorcycle. It just reminds me that if God is for us, who can be against us? This miraculous event agitated the Muslim community so much that Wiesom knew it was the perfect time to use AWR's cell phone evangelism. He immediately sought out someone to translate the sermons into Arabic. He found a man named Jamil who readily agreed to help. Jamil worked for days, sometimes late into the night, translating the Bible-based sermons. As he read, he was so greatly moved by the presentations that he felt compelled to share them with one of his friends from the Baptist church. She was so amazed by the sermons that she shared them with her pastor, who was also impressed by what he read. He then sought out Wiesom to preach at his church. Wiesom presented at the Baptist church, sharing Bible prophecy, our health message, and Ellen White's writings. Their hearts were so convicted that the pastor and almost his whole congregation made the decision to be baptized into the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And on a beautiful Sabbath day, we held a church service at the Jordan River. Then one by one, they entered into the water. Wiesem had the joy of baptizing these precious souls with Elder Dwayne McKee.
God is calling all who are willing to proclaim His last day message. Adventist World Radio not only broadcasts into the Muslim countries in their own languages, but we are working with people like Wiesem, helping to share the gospel message in countries that still need to hear the wonderful story of Jesus. Thank you for supporting AWR. Jesus is coming soon, and He invites you and me to be a part of this great movement that will light the earth with the knowledge of His truth. From broadcast to baptism, this is AWR 360.